Good afternoon, everyone. This is the March Monuments and Ceremonies Commission meeting, calling it to order. Can we do a roll call? We'll start with that. Looks like we have our trustee secretary, Jim Long, and
Terry Wood.
And I am here, I believe.
And our guest.
And our guest.
As Memorial Day Chair.
The Memorial Day Parade Chairman, Terry Gaffney. Based on the weather, there are a few people that are not going to be able to make it. I did not hear from Autumn. Has anyone else heard from Autumn?
Didn't see anything.
No, okay. And Rob Hulick is out of town on travel. So Isabel and Nancy and Jim DeMarc are staying home where it's safe, I think. Okay, so.
So we'll dispense with reading the minutes.
Yes, we will not be able to read the minutes or approve them. But they are here in case you have any input for them.
I read through them. I didn't see anything that looked untoward.
Okay. All right, so we will table them.
Except for maybe you calling yourself chairman instead of chairperson.
Chairperson.
Oh, please. Are we going down that rabbit hole already?
Right off the bat, darn.
Whoa.
No, I'm not a proponent of pronoun changing, but.
So so we'll go right to 3 with the commission staffing. I spoke to Jim this morning, and he mentioned he had found a couple of people that are interested in participating of the Republican Party. So I just wanted to swing that by you. They can join the commission as non-voting members. Is that?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, my term has been up for a while, so if one of them want to come in, I'm happy with that.
But you could stay too.
Who else is going to drive Jim DeMarc here?
Since you're having such a good time.
You're the chauffeur for the commission. Come on.
Yeah. And then Terry sent me an email yesterday about, I'll let you speak about, there's another possibility
Yes.
of a person that you know as
Yes.
well. So,
Do we not set now?
or I guess just that you're
yeah,
put
she's
her into
interested.
the
She's
application.
Republican?
She's put in. She's
No.
a Democrat.
Oh, that'd be great, because they're short.
Right. And I've known her 25 years. Our kids were in high school together, and she's smart, thoughtful. She's been on the RTM. She was president of the League of Women Voters.
Sounds
She's-
great. Is she
Get her in.
going to apply?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's already applied.
Okay.
She
All
sent it in to Linda O'Leary, and she sent it to DTC chair, and then copied it to Linda O'Leary.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Awesome.
She was right away interested.
That's great.
And just
Thank
a
you.
lot of follow through and a lot of commitment, a lot of practical sense, and she'd be great.
Excellent. Well, thank you for taking care of that.
Yep.
And anyone else out there that is interested, we would truly love to have anyone and everyone that has an interest in the work that we do. And there's always help needed.
You know, this used to have 15 members.
That's right.
How many statutorily do we?
9.
9.
No. Oh, so I got some more work to do.
Yeah. Keep going.
Yeah.
Let's see. Under Chairman's report, I'll just mention that we had some good news come out this month, in which you alerted us to. That Rob and Karen Pollitt had managed to finally solve the mystery. So that's actually, I just see I put that under cemetery committee update. But Emma Bingham's tombstone has found its resting place.
Which is where?
It's in the Norton River Cemetery, I believe.
Yes, it's been placed.
It's
Oh, it
been
has?
placed,
Yes.
Yeah. So
That's very
Yeah, they
cool.
found,
Very exciting.
and I'm embarrassed that I've forgotten the poor young child's name.
Emma.
Emma Bingham.
Emma Bingham. So this, her stone was discovered in a storage shed up in Milford, was it?
Yes.
And it had been there for 100 years. They didn't
A long
know.
time. They don't know.
They don't know how long it had been there.
How it
but-
got there.
But
Yeah.
it had been there for at least 50 years. They did know that. They just didn't know how much farther back.
Milford, huh?
And there were all sorts of statutory hoops that they had to go through to get clearance to move a stone with the state. And Karen Pollitt from the Good Wives chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution was instrumental in getting the necessary data in the hands of Rob Hulick. And between the two of them, they pulled off what the people from Milford thought was a miracle.
Yeah.
And because the stone had been in storage as opposed to exposed to the elements, it looks almost like a brand new stone. And again, Karen Pollitt managed through one of her friends, who I apologize, I can't remember her friend's name, located the footstone for the young girl's gravesite. So
wow.
it was installed in the Roten River Cemetery just recently.
So they found the footstone here in town?
Yes.
And were able to match it to that?
Right.
So how were her parents in Bridgeport?
Well, I think she died at a young age.
Yeah, she died at
so
age
she was
3.
Right.
So.
And so that I found that interesting because I've noticed this at Spring Grove as well. There's a area where they bury the little children, like the little biddies that pass away. So she's amongst other little children at Roten River.
Okay.
And I think they, their lives went on and they moved to, I think there were a couple of moves in there, but ended up in Bridgeport.
Yeah.
So.
Wow. Well, I'm glad they're back together.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was amazing work, hard work that Rob did getting all the groundwork, and then gosh, thanks to Karen for making all the connecting all the dots.
Yeah.
So, great news. We're waiting to hear.
We could actually have James Patterson write a mystery novel about
You
it.
probably could. There's enough meat, but then lots of.
And we've got bones too. No, we don't have the
know
bones.
bones.
No.
We have the headstone.
Yep. So we're, as part of the budget process here for town, we're waiting to hear back on what we've submitted for the treasurer's report. For the display case, Nancy is not here, but I did actually have a note from Krista McNamara, the town clerk's office has the display case this month.
They did a great job down there.
And she's invited us, please, to make sure we take a look. They're pretty excited about what they've put together in there. So everyone, please make sure you stop by the display case here in Town Hall, and there's some really neat pieces of Darien history in there. So have a look. Let's see. The Veteran Street Sign Program, did you want to?
All right, so I have delayed calling a meeting of the subcommittee to pick the next designated recipient, honoree, for the street sign program. And the reason I'm dragging my heels, there is a Medal of Honor winner from the town of Darien who has gone unrecognized for over 100 years. He's a World War I veteran, and I'm missing a piece of information that I need to have his application complete. I am submitting the application for him. His children and his grandchildren are all dead.
Wow.
I have tracked down and identified his great-grandchildren, and I've reached out to them via phone and email and text, but have yet to hear back from either of them. So I'm dragging my feet, hoping I can get all the bows and ribbons tied onto the package. And full disclosure, when we have that meeting, presuming I get those bows and ribbons tied, he's going to get my vote. That's 1 of 3 votes. It's just, Medal of Honor winner to me gets special consideration.
In World War I.
In World War I, yeah.
And can you say, no, you can't say the name just yet?
Well, I wouldn't say anybody's name, because if it turns out that the other 2 votes go to somebody else,
Got it, okay,
know.
fair enough.
just as I would with somebody who were alive.
Right,
Yeah.
right, okay.
So that's the update on the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program.
All right. But the plan is to have a sign put up this coming Memorial Day.
The Memorial Day weekend.
Weekend.
Typically, we do it on Memorial Day weekend. There have been instances in the past where it's been either the week before or the week after, depending upon when the family can actually be in town and present.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
excellent. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, so cemetery committee, we talked about the Emma Bingham tombstone. And as we're still in the winter months, I don't think any of the cleanup has started. Plus, we're waiting for the new budget year anyway,
Right.
so that we have some funds to work cleanup. Okay, Memorial Day parade.
Okay, so I still need somebody to shadow me this year so that there's no big surprise next year when I'm not here. And Terry was nice enough to reach out and see if she could get a shadow or 2 for me. Yeah, and by the way, the person who shadows me does not necessarily have to be the committee chair next year, but there has to be somebody who can hold the baton and pass it on, because it's mostly detail work.
Correct.
And so it's got to be somebody good with detail work.
Yeah, Terry said, I said, could you send me a couple quick sentences? And I got this spreadsheet of
Yeah.
week by week,
Yeah.
which is great.
Yeah, because they know
Very
what to
detailed.
do.
Very
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah.
And you could divide that up among, if you could get 5 or 6 people to do it, they're all lifting. No, 3 people, I don't know,
You know what?
It's
Camels.
Yeah,
Committees drawing a horse, come up with a camel.
yeah,
You're better off with
one person.
autocracy.
Yeah, doing all that.
But in terms of where we are,
But you didn't come, no one said yes.
No.
Yeah.
Well, it's just gone out.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Grand Marshal and keynote speaker, we must make a decision on each of those next month at the April meeting. I've circulated a list of potential candidates. I don't think this is something that requires a vote that would be stopped by a quorum, because this is a subcommittee that I'm running.
Sure.
So I'm just looking for some agreement or disagreement. If there's a disagreement, I'll table it. If it's an agreement, I'll go forward. I would like to remove the potential candidate for speaker number 1 based on health considerations.
Okay.
So if nobody has any objections, I'm going to strike speaker number 1 candidate from the list. Speaker, now, I guess I gave away all the oh, here we go.
Do you want one?
No, I'm a little hesitant on number 7, simply because I don't think the skill level is there compared to some others. One of the people on this commission was nice enough to give me number 8, who is somebody I did not know, don't know him, but I did take the opportunity to Google him on the internet, and he is very impressive and probably jumped to the top of my list. And on my list, I think very highly of number 2 and number 5, as I think number 2, number 5, and number 8 are
Those who I'd go with too.
are the strongest. So unless I hear objections from anybody here, next month I would whittle the list down to number 2, number 5, and number 8.
I would do that, I'd agree.
Agree.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right, so that's number one on Memorial Day. Number two, we have to come up with a clergyman or woman to do our benediction and our blessing. Last year we had Landon Resor from the Christ Community Church, and the year before we had Gary Morello from the Norotan Presbyterian. Both of them were extraordinary. On a personal note, and as a church-going Catholic, I don't personally have a problem with people focusing on Christianity. And it's not our place to tell anybody what to say or not say. I would hope that the benediction and the blessing would be a little bit more ecumenical as opposed to a particular denomination. That's just my thought process. So if anybody has a clergy person that they would recommend, don't mention it out loud, just give me the names.
Got it.
And
I've got two, I'll give you.
okay, good. And again, that has to be voted upon at next month's meeting as well. I don't think that's something that I should be appointing. I think it's something that the commission should be appointing.
Makes sense.
In terms of military participation in the parade, the requests have been filed both for the flyover and for the National Guard marching unit, and we've gotten confirmation back from each that they've acknowledged receipt of the application, but Sue Ann, our chairperson, knows better than anyone. That simply means, got it.
Got it.
Received.
Keep waiting.
Yes.
So, but the requests have all been acknowledged.
And what's the marching troop called?
It'll come from the Connecticut National Guard. And I didn't write down on my
Okay, that's all right.
on my sheet which unit it would be. I also did request this year vehicles as well. The insurance certificates that are required have all been filed. Because we utilize private property in the Shape area at Goodwives River Shopping Center, the town must sign a contract with them every year. And even though it should be boilerplate to just, change the dates, apparently Goodwives must take a person fresh out of college every year and don't show them the old contract and let them figure out how to do it. So whoever is new for the Umstead Property Group has been given a new contract to look at. In terms of media coverage, TV 79, thank you, TV 79 has already confirmed they will cover the dedication ceremony in the Veterans Cemetery, and the Darien Athletic Foundation media, thank you very much, DAF Media, has confirmed that they will live stream the parade as well. The town of Darien's media consultant has been notified, and I will be working with her over the next 2 months about what information she would like to have, when she would have it, etc. So that's all taken care of. Part of the ceremony, as everyone in this commission knows, we read the names of each Darien resident who has been killed while in uniform. Last year, I was able to contact the surviving child of one of our KIAs from Vietnam. And last year I had invited her to read the names of the Vietnam casualties. She was unable to make it due to health considerations and time and distance of travel. I've reached out to her again this year to see if she would like to participate. I have yet to hear back from her one way or the other.
So she's the child?
The child.
Child. Okay.
Child, yeah.
Because I know there's a sister of one of the men who lost their lives in Vietnam who lives in the area.
Well, if you can get that, oh wait, she lives in Norwalk?
Yes.
I'm a little foggy. I can't remember if I reached out to her or not.
Okay.
Well, you and I will talk
Okay.
offline just to confirm. Yeah.
Great.
Oh, I remember what it is now. Yeah, you and I will talk
Okay.
offline. But it's just occurring to me now that the father of this orphan had one of the most stunning military records that I've seen. And not the one with the sister, one with the orphan, yet stunning military record. He obviously is not going to have a community service aspect, but I'm thinking based on what I've seen in his military portfolio that I might want to throw his name in the mix for the Wartime Veteran Street Sign Program as well, because
And he's
three tours of duty,
in Vietnam.
Korea,
Korea.
Vietnam. He signed up when he turned 18 at the end of World War II and was one of the first American casualties in Vietnam. Silver Star. I mean, he's pretty extraordinary. That's all I've got.
Okay, did you want to, Grand Marshal, I don't think we talked about. This either.
Yeah. You want to shrink that list?
Oh, did you lose?
I
your
might,
copy?
I might need a copy of that back. Oh, no, I've got it. Okay,
Yeah.
I've got it. Yeah, I think everybody on this list is deserving of the honor.
Okay.
My own, and again, this will not be decided until next month, and this is a full commission vote. But number 4 and number 5, to me, are at the top of my list, based
Age and service.
age and service. Yeah. I mean, some of the other service records are comparable, but younger, and hopefully we'll have them around for more years. So that's just my 2 cents. I think number 4 and number 5 are I'm trying to impress the jury.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So maybe we can shuffle the list, put them to the front. Maybe some of the younger folks can.
I still would not
Line
drop
up after,
anybody off the
right.
list, because if some of the people who are absent this month, that'll
Might
be here
not
next
be.
month, if they want to make a strong case, I think everybody on this list deserves consideration. I would not be
Absolutely.
looking to limit the list at this point, just trying to poison the jury pool, that's all.
Perfect. All right. Great. Well, thank you so much. That's a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
Appreciate that, Terry. Okay. Sitting here looking at my list, I realized that Memorial Day is in May and Declaration Day is in July, and we'll have Flag Day in between that. So would you mind just making a note in the minutes that we need to think about
Flag Day.
Flag Day? Just, I want to.
Well, we
There's not much to
yeah,
it,
we
I
typically
understand,
wouldn't
but-
even talk about Flag Day until maybe April. I'd have to go back and look at previous years, but probably not until May.
Okay.
It's what date?
June 14th. The only wrinkle on Flag Day is I don't think there's a time that it's supposed to be run. I'd have to look. I don't know if there's a designated time slot. I don't think there is.
It's not like.
It's a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's not like 11 a.m. on the 11th.
Right, yeah, that's why I'm
Right.
thinking, because I think typically we hold, of course, we always hold it at the end of the day.
Right.
Raise and lower the flag.
Related to Flag Day, I'd always done a flag collection with the first selectman, and that will repeat with
Right.
Tracy Mara and Monica McNally.
Okay.
So they'll do a flag collection probably the Saturday before. I mean, the date is yet to be set, but
For old flags.
for worn flags,
Yeah.
for the proper disposal.
Yeah, we also,
And that gets,
oh,
we always
yeah,
collected like 80 to 100 flags.
Yeah.
And we did a drive-through here. And it's a chance to remind people that there is a procedure, there's a
Yeah.
proper way to dispose of
I
worn
have that
flags.
many in my basement.
so, 2 years ago, you collected so many flags, so we also collect them at Flag Day. We have a bin for people to bring them on Flag Day. So
Yeah.
2 years ago, I must have gotten about 20 flags, but you did such a good job with your flag collection. When I went to drop them off at the VFW,
It was
not
full.
only was the box full, there were 3 boxes next to it.
That's
So,
great.
yeah, there were a lot of people who did, who got the idea.
Awareness.
But we take ours directly to Lawrence.
You do?
Yeah,
Okay.
so an Eagle Scout did that wonderful box for used flag collection all year round.
Yeah.
So when I would get emails, what do I do? I've got a couple flags now. That's always there.
Take it
It's-
to the VFW.
Yeah, it's right behind the VFW. And it's a beautiful box, painted like an American flag.
And for those who don't know what the procedure is, the flags are burned,
Mhm.
and then the ashes are buried in consecrated ground. It's very much the same as burying a veteran.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, so on to Declaration Day, the update from Terry Wood.
Okay. A year ago, Jamie Stevens and I attended Declaration Day celebration in Greenwich, and they've done this every year for probably 10, 15 years. It was about a 45-minute ceremony with a number of elements in it, and we came away saying we'd love to do that in Darien. And when I talked to Sue Ann, she was willing to entertain the idea. So we have drafted up a program. It's about 20 minutes, 20 to 25 minutes. It will be held on July 4th, and the purpose is to remind people what we're celebrating on July 4th, because I think so many people, civics isn't quite taught the way it used to be taught. And I think the reminder, particularly for young adults, is important, what we're celebrating, and that it is the Declaration of Independence. So this, and I've passed out a tentative draft program. And it also, we've worked with Scott Vanderhayden of the VFW to make sure it meshes well with the push and pull parade, which is also held that day. So we're starting at 9:30, push and pull kicks off at 10:30. They both start at Darien High School now. Push and pull relocated from Good Wives, I guess 2 or 3, I don't know when,
Little while,
2 or 3
yeah.
years ago. So we're starting with, hopefully we'll get the Tudor Singers or another local singing, one of the public school groups, to sing America the Beautiful, and then Sue Ann will welcome people, identify any elected officials, and then introduce Monica.
Okay.
And Monica's on board. She'll make a few remarks, and then raising of the flag and the song Star Spangled Banner. And the veterans, we will identify veterans to raise the flag. And we're looking, Jamie's checked out, and Jamie Stevens and I are doing this together. Jamie has checked out with Bobby Bush getting the big fire department flag, which is always nice, very celebratory. Then we go into the Pledge of Allegiance, led by some Eagle Scouts. Amy Paulus, who is a mom here in town, whose daughter Emma is at West Point, is deeply involved in recruiting kids to the academies, particularly West Point. And we thought it would be appropriate for her to read the names of students currently at the military academies, because I think that's something too that tends not to get, we believe, the attention it deserves. The number of students we have from Darien who are attending the military academies. I think we have more per capita than any other town in the state of Connecticut, and that's something to be proud of.
Yeah,
And I think the kids deserve, the students, young adults deserve recognition for their willingness to serve our country. Then reading the names of the Revolutionary War patriots from Darien.
If I may, before we go on to that, there is a person in town who also actively recruits for Annapolis. Not that our chairperson cares what the Navy does. I'll put you in touch. There are actually two.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they currently have anybody at the academy or not.
Annapolis.
At Annapolis.
Yeah, there is a student at Annapolis from Darien.
Okay, Amy has that?
No, I have that.
You have that, okay. I'll put you in touch with
Okay.
the person who does the...
Because the sister, there's a young man who's at Annapolis, his sister's at West Point.
That'll be
Little
interesting
rivalry.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes. Well, I was told that one sport gets the Annapolis vote, the other one gets, anyway. It's all in good spirit.
And for the hundreds of people listening to this broadcast, if you know anybody at the Air Force Academy
Actually,
or
there
at the
is
Coast Guard
there's a young
Academy.
man, Maximus Racanelli is at the Air Force
Oh,
Academy.
yes, Eagle.
Or not,
I
yeah.
remember.
I know we have somebody, I don't know if they've graduated yet from the Coast Guard Academy, but there is a resident who at least had been there. I don't know if they've graduated yet or not.
Well, I'm going to verify with one of the guidance counselors at Darien High School who's particularly tuned into who's at the academies and the service academies.
Okay.
So, what were you going to say? Were you gonna...
I don't know.
Oh, okay. And then, okay, Revolutionary War patriots from Darien and current descendants, if there are some still living in town. And
So-
that will be a DAR member reading that. And these all have time, as you see, they've got timetables on them because.
Right, so you can help me
I'm gonna take
here.
a copy of that when you're done.
We don't have the
Give
names.
you one?
Nope. If you did, I'd
Here,
put
I've
it
got
somewhere
one.
else.
Yeah, you can-
Just like my taxes, you know. I lose them all the time.
We don't have the names of,
Great.
okay, have to be careful on this. We don't have the names, the Memorial Day Committee does not have the names of Revolutionary War patriots or War of 1812 or any of the early, you should pardon the politically incorrect statement, any of the early Indian wars. There would be a question of should they be read. Is Memorial Day strictly because it only started at the Civil War, or should we consider including names of...
This is Declaration Day.
I know, but I'm saying,
Oh.
should those names also be read at Memorial Day? And I'm not saying they should, it's an open question.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's something we should
Yeah.
consider, and next month
Mhm.
make a determination whether or not, we could actually, that we wouldn't have to know till May, actually.
Okay, yeah,
But
so we can
just,
connect
but at any rate, I'd love to get
information.
those names either way.
Yeah. And then we go to select readings from the Declaration of Independence. And we have Thomas Jefferson attending as the writer of the Declaration, the lead writer of the Declaration, also known as John Zagrodzky.
And for those of us who
He'll
saw
do a
him
great
doing
job.
Cotton
Yes.
Mather, that was
Was
a
remarkable.
Stephen Mather.
Hence why the ask was very quick to him. And then we're also going to ask students ages 10, about 5 of them, 10 to 16, to read excerpts of the Declaration. And it'll be a politically balanced group of students. And then Sue Ann to close with remarks, and then the closing song is God Bless America. And that adds up to about 20 to 25 minutes. And we figure that's enough to keep people, you know, to pique interests and validate why we celebrate Declaration Day without getting too much.
Right.
There are some costs associated with this. With the VFW, we're splitting the Darien Police Department. And the cost for that is $325 for each of us. So for monuments and ceremonies, it would be $325, and VFW would be $325. That's 2 officers with a 4-hour minimum. And that request has already been put in. We have some people that have stepped forward and offered to cover that. So many hands make light work on that. The other costs, printing a program, we're anticipating maybe $50, maybe $100, but it would not be more than that. We're thinking of putting the lyrics to all the songs, because there are multiple stanzas in this song.
Oh, yeah.
In these songs, and
Yeah.
and have everyone sing along
Most people know
with
about
it.
the first 6
Exactly, right.
words. That is.
Yeah.
6 words. No, I caught that. And the cost, I think, as I recall, the tutor singers have a not a stipend, but a modest fee that they ask as a contribution to
Well,
their
the fee
group.
is primarily to cover the amplification.
That's for the electrical type stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but I've got an email out to
Chris.
Yes, and I understand this is the week of the high school
This is
musical.
Tech Week, yeah.
So
He's a little busy.
He's a little busy. We also thought we'd get about 20 or so chairs set up for some of the seniors who may not want to stand for that period
We
of time.
learned that lesson at 9/11.
Yeah, did we ever?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boy.
that's important.
Where
And
do they
there's a
usually-
group of names we're coming up with too, that people who've been in town a long time, who've done a lot, that we would want to make sure they're invited and
Mhm.
are able to come.
Where do the chairs come from that we use? at-
Either the fire department and/or the Boy Scouts, whoever says yes
Oh.
first.
Oh, Bert von Stubnagel.
Hmm.
He's
Well,
always-
I personally would prefer the fire department, because the fire department actually brings them and takes them away, where if it's the Boy
Done.
Scouts, we got to go get them and bring them back.
Which fire department?
Norotan has been the easiest to work with on chairs.
Okay, great, thank you.
And if you have any desire to have the big gong bell, you know, the fire department bell,
After each.
that we get from Norotan Heights Fire Department.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a great idea.
And if you have any interest, I have 2 friends who each serve in different Revolutionary War reenactors units. And even if they don't get the units, I suspect at least one of them would love to come in Revolutionary War uniform.
Okay.
I'll be happy to ask them.
Okay, thank you.
I think that's
Well,
just a cool thing.
Yeah, it is. Well, it keeps that history alive,
Yeah.
especially this is aimed at, particularly for young adults.
Probably love to pop his rifle when they're raising the flag before or after.
Yeah, no doubt.
And that's it. So, any thoughts are welcome, and
I think
Looks
this is a
good to
great
me.
idea. Thank you so much for this.
And I would think if we have any money in this committee, I mean, if they come short, although it's great someone's volunteered to pay for it, the major
a couple of
cost.
people have volunteered.
Yeah.
So many, again,
And
many hands.
I think we generally do, it'll be the new budget year already, so we do have funds in, I talked to Rob, who's our treasurer, and he said there's generally enough money that this would,
Fall into it.
fall into
Because it's
it.
not expensive.
So we can, I figure we can talk about that at the next meeting
Okay,
and
great,
put it to a vote.
thank you.
But this is great work, this
Okay.
looks like it's gonna be terrific.
Yeah. And nice mesh with the parade.
Yeah, that'll be neat.
I think so too.
It's before the parade.
Do you want
Before
to
the
tell
parade.
our
So
thousands?
9:30 is the Declaration Day celebration ceremony, and then 10:30 is the step off for the push and pull parade.
Do you want to tell our thousands of listeners a little bit about the push-pull parade in case they don't know?
I don't know, I've never been.
All right, so
Honestly, my kids are.
the VFW Post sponsors a push and pull parade. And it's basically, they have the children in the parade either on bicycles, in strollers, in wagons, again, anything that's either a push or a pull. And the bicycles and all the vehicles, if you will, are decorated with red, white, and blue streamers. And it's a fun event for little kids and young parents. It's a lot of fun.
It steps off from the high school. It used to step off from Goodwives.
Right.
And I'm not sure when they changed that, but they did. And now it goes down to McGuan.
Right.
And I understand there's some food booths after,
Yeah.
I think, I heard that.
And there's also, for those who are over the age of 21, the VFW
Oh,
bar and cafe is open as well.
Oh, nice.
Yep, a lot of people don't know that you do not have to be a member of the VFW to go down there and enjoy yourself. You will have to sign into the guest book, but you do not have to be a member to partake of their hospitality.
Yep. A nice little place, little hidden gem. All right, well, thank you so much.
you're welcome.
Let's see, any other new business that anyone would like to bring up? Anybody? All right, without any new business?
Carabello.
Carabello?
Oh, Terry does, so
Terry's,
this commission, one of the longtime members of this commission, Ed Carabillo, always wanted to be the first to go home. And so when anybody in this
anyone
commission
says-
wants to make a motion to adjourn, it's referred to as a Carabillo.
That's very funny.
So we like to keep that tradition alive to honor Ed Carabillo for his years of service on this commission.
So does anyone want to second the Carabillo?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, we all do.
We all do, and we're all in favor of Carabilloing it out of here.